Ba-chibba-doo-wah. Hey, welcome to Monday. Yes, it's that time again. I know you miss me, and that's okay, because you really should miss me. But we're back. And for all of you who didn't catch us on Friday and had to go 3 entire days without Student of the Gun, I know you're probably jonesing there. You're probably shaking like my wife before she's had coffee in the morning. She doesn't shake.
She's actually able to move before she has coffee?
She moves very slowly and angrily across the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I just play this Patterson Rising music in the background the whole time?
You could, but should you? And I think the answer is probably
not.
no. So, no. You ever see that coffee mug that says it's the fill level? It says not now, closer. Okay, you may speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your mom.
Oh, speaking of coffee mugs, kind of a little announcement here for you guys.
Uh-oh.
We're going to be stocking coffee mugs and hoodies and tote bags if you want those. We're going to have a bunch of different products going through our store.
So you can take them to the grocery store and like not get paper or plastic, but you could use your tote bag.
Yep.
Is that it?
It'll say Student of the Gun on it. So
that actually would be kind of badass if you went to like a Seattle or a San Francisco grocery store.
Yeah.
And used a canvas Student of the Gun. Made the hippie freak liberals put your groceries in that.
That would be cool.
That actually would be kind of cool.
Anyway, we're going to have a bunch of different products coming out soon. So,
see, hippies can't decide what they love and what they hate. You know, they love trees. And
they love to hate.
And trees are everyone's best friend. But you kill trees to make paper bags, and that's not nice. But they hate oil, too, and they hate plastic. And you have to have oil to make plastic. So they're really torn, Now, how many, if you make a cotton canvas bag, how many cotton plants had to die to make that?
Cotton candy? What?
Yeah, and isn't cotton reminiscent of slavery, and don't liberals hate slavery? So I don't know. How do you go through your life as a liberal puke face? Well, I guess you go through your life as a complete and total hypocrite. That's what you do. Okay, I got you. All right. But yeah, so like Jared said, we're going to. He's working behind the scenes to kind of expand the list of Student of the Gun official logoed apparel and all that different jazz, because people have been asking us for a while now about coffee mugs, and we were kind of at a crossroads trying to figure out how to make coffee mugs available to you. Now, I know you guys are thinking, duh, it's just a coffee mug. That's super simple. Yeah, it's not that easy, because it's one thing if you're going to stick them on a shelf in a shop and people are going to stop and walk in and buy them. It's another thing if you're going to order them, stock them, ship them, mail them, and deliver them to you, because there's all those moving parts in there, and coffee mugs tend to break when they're being moved around. And you don't want to move them more than once, basically.
And we're going to, Student of the Gun here in the near future we're going to be kind of rebranding, I guess. Not really, but kind of. We're going to have a high-speed logo rather than a
low-speed logo?
Rather than the low-speed.
Really? Did I authorize that?
Yeah, you just did. I heard it.
I don't remember authorizing that, but okay. Well, listen up, freak. It's Monday, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about on Monday. We hope that you guys had a relaxing, enjoyable, enlightening experience yesterday on Sunday, which was the official 24-hour blackout day. And I know some of you are like, whoa, I just couldn't do it. This and that and the other and yada, yada, yada. Okay. All right. Listen. All right, freak. You had your excuse. Now, figure it out on your own. And if you don't, then you're not really serious. I think we explained enough why it was important and why it was a valid concept and why it was a valid idea. And the only reason you wouldn't do it is because you're intellectually lazy. Yes, I said it. Intellectually lazy. And I'm sorry that if you're intellectually lazy, but if you're intellectually lazy, you really shouldn't be listening to me. You should be listening to an NPR show, because they'll wrap their loving liberal puke face arms around you and tell you that it's okay. If you want someone to tell you what you want to hear, go somewhere else. If you want someone to tell you what you need to hear, you come here. And the reason I mention that is because during this week, as the week progresses, what we're hoping to do is get, we requested feedback from you, out there in the audience from everybody who participated in the 24-hour blackout. Anything that you learned or realized or anything that kind of like struck you. And you're like, whoa, I never thought about that before. So we're going to be compiling those, and then when we have enough material, we're going to do it later on this week. So make sure you're perking up your ears and listening.
You know what would be kind of cool?
What would be kind of cool?
If those of you who participated in the blackout would call the number and leave a voicemail of kind of what you did and how it worked out for you. And if you call 682-207-7684 or 682-207-SOTG and leave us a voicemail about how your blackout experience went.
Okay. Now we can't give SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week to every single person that does that. You understand, right?
No, that's not going to be a Warrior of the Week. It's just going to be it'll be kind of
testimonial,
like a peer testimonial
an after-action
for
report.
your friends and your
there
peers.
You go. All right. Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and P.S. I'm sorry for the email confusion because apparently I'm retarded and insane and crazy and retarded. And I try. Here's what I try to do, folks. I tried to send out an email without Jared being in the office, and it didn't work out as the way it was supposed to. So
he was thinking too hard.
I was thinking too hard, and I got my knuckles slapped with a ruler, and so we had to fix it. So I'm sorry if there was any confusion for you guys. All right, Jared, are you ready to do the Warrior of the Week?
I am ready to do the Warrior of the Week.
All right, we'll go ahead and cue it up then.
Hey, Jared, Professor Paul. This is Kelsey from Indiana. I have a two-part question. During the podcast for the Patriot Arsenal on a Budget, you suggested getting a 9mm. Why a 9 versus a 40? Is it for cost, ease of shooting, or the ability to find ammo? The second part is I have a Glock 27, and I was curious about the conversion barrel to convert it to a 9. Thanks.
All right, well, thank you for that question. It's an excellent question, and that makes you the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week, and congratulations. Now, Jared, tell our friend what he has to do, who he's going to send an email to so he can get his cool stuff.
You're going to send an email to Alex, ALEX, at studentofthegun.com. Include your name, mailing address, your phone number, and your email typed in there, and she'll get that information over to SWAT Fuel, and you get a free bottle of 9mm plus P.
That's right. Now, here's the trick. When you get your 9mm plus P, you have to actually use it. You don't just sit it on a shelf and look at it and smile. You have to actually take it.
If you're not going to use it, give it to somebody that will.
And get out and do something physical. We've had a few people say, well, I did that and I didn't notice any difference. We're like, well, what did you do? What physical activity did you engage in? And they said, I didn't. Well, then why did you take it? If you weren't going to engage in any kind of an activity, if you're just going to sit in your chair and, play on the internet.
Well, but if you just sit,
you don't need SWAT Fuel to do that.
Somebody needs to come up with a supplement that you can take and just sit there and do nothing, and you still lose weight and get fit.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
I don't understand why that hasn't happened.
I don't know. You get to work on that. All right. Well, but I'll get to work on the Patriot Arsenal on a Budget, or just the Patriot Arsenal, period. We talked about it in detail on Student of the Gun TV, both the Patriot Arsenal and the Patriot Arsenal on a Budget, and that's in Patriot Fire Team book, is it not?
Yeah,
it is.
It's in there.
It's
and
in the
also,
book.
If you go to patriotfireteam.com and sign up with your name and email address, you get a downloadable audio and video of the Patriot Arsenal and the Patriot Arsenal on a Budget.
Yeah. Wow. So do that.
He forgot about that.
Yeah, if you haven't...
it's like, wow, I did that?
I did that? We did that? Yeah, if you have... First of all, step number one, if you haven't gone to patriotfireteam.com yet, you should do that and check it out. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. But back to the question. All right, number one, why 9mm? Because I'm really over the 40. And I thought I talked about it on the radio before, but just for those of you that...
new listeners.
New listeners. You get basically a infinitesimal benefit from the 40 over 9mm, and the ammunition that is available today in 9mm Luger, NATO, 9x19, Parabellum, whatever you want to call it, is it's head and shoulders ahead of what it was 30 years ago, 25 years ago, even 20 years ago. the 9mm cartridge is technically, from a technical aspect, it's a low velocity cartridge, where the 40 caliber is a high velocity cartridge. When you're shooting it out of a compact gun, you experience a lot more felt recoil from the 40, and it's felt recoil that doesn't really benefit you. You say, well, I'm not afraid of recoil. Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, you're not afraid of recoil, but whether you're afraid of it or not, you get no added benefit from that extra recoil. It's just extra recoil. And the cartridges that you're launching, or the bullets you're launching, are not doing really that much more damage than the 9mm are, especially if you purchase good controlled expansion ammunition from any number of companies. So, but as far as money, yeah, it is a big money factor. Go to Walmart tomorrow, or go to Academy Outdoors, or go to wherever you buy ammo. Walk over to the shelf and price 59mm versus 50-40 versus 50-45 and see how much it costs you. And then when you're talking about going to, let's say you're going to go to a training academy, which you should go to a school, you should do training, you should practice. So factor in 200, 300, 400, 500 rounds of training ammo, and you're like, oh, wow, that's like a $50 difference. Yeah, it is. So it can get expensive. And you say, well, what am I getting for that? Well, with the 40, you're not really getting much. And this is the fact that's going to, all the 40 people out there in the audience, you're going to get all mad and butthurt at me, and you're going to shift around in your seats. And you're going to go, derp, 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 derp. American law enforcement is trending away from 40. The FBI is trending away from 40, and American law enforcement. Now you're like, that's bullcrap. My local sheriff's office still carries a 40. Okay, I'm glad that your local sheriff's office still carries a 40, but I'm telling you that they're trending away from it. That is what I'm telling you.
Our local one, they are transitioning to Glocks now.
Glock 9s?
Glock 9mm, yeah.
And we already we dedicated almost an entire show to the fact that the FBI is going back to 9mm full size and subcompact guns. Now, as far as conversions, this is kind of the funny thing. It's funny to me because probably 15 years ago at least is when I got my first conversion barrel. It was actually from Olympic Arms. Olympic Arms made a 9mm conversion barrel so I could convert my Glock 23. And I'll admit, in 1993, 3? When was it? I guess it would have been 1993. When the Glock 23 first came out, I was excited about it. Oh, man, it's a brand new thing, a new cartridge, a new this, new that. I was a young cop. I mean, I was just still wet behind the ears, in my early 20s, and I was excited. Well, I guess mid-20s. All right, shut up. But I was excited about this new Glock pistol, about the new 40 and about the new this and that. And I went out and got one. Actually, it was a Christmas gift to me from Mrs. Markle, my Glock 23. And I had it for several years, and I found out that Olympic Arms was making a drop-in conversion barrel to shoot 9mm, and all you had to do was change magazines. And, well, you changed the barrel out, obviously, and you had to use 9mm magazines, not 40 magazines. And otherwise, you were good to go. And I actually had somebody at Glock, and this has been, I don't know how many years it's been. Many. Let's say going back to the mid to late 90s. Write me a letter and tell me that was unsafe and I should not do that because yada, 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 this. Well, if you know anything about G-Lock, they don't like you tinkering with their guns. They don't like you changing anything. They don't even like you putting aftermarket sights on them. If they're not Glock sights, they don't want them on the gun. So the guy told me that it voided my warranty. I was like, okay, gotcha. And you're like, how in the world did the guy from Glock know that you did that, Paul? Well, I wrote an article about it, and it was published in Combat Handguns magazine. That's how I knew. But, folks, I've been doing that ever since then. Olympic Arms, they're kind of a flighty company. I've never had a solid point of contact with them. They kind of come and go. But KKM barrels, there's a company called KKM Precision, and if you look them up on the internet, just type in, Kilo, Mike, KKM Precision. And KKM Precision makes high-quality aftermarket barrels for a number of pistols, including Glocks. And one of the things that they do is they make conversion barrels. And so right now I currently possess, well, I don't know. Jared, you're carrying your G-Lock right now?
Yeah.
Okay, Jared's, I'll give you a good example. Our local police supply shop here where we live in Harrison County, a few years ago, they had a bunch of trade-ins, Glock trade-in pistols. They had Glock 22s and Glock 23s. And usually when you can find police trade-in pistols, they're pretty good prices. They were selling the 22s for $299 a piece with 3 magazines. And then they were selling the 23s because, of course, they're smaller, so they cost more, because that makes no sense at all. But that's the way it is in the world. I think they were selling for like $329 or something like that. So I picked up one of each, and the gun that Jared's carrying right now is that police trade-in Glock 23, and it's got a KKM conversion barrel in it. So if you're looking to do that, let me tell you what. People will tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that, or it's unsafe, or void your Glock warranty, whatever, dude. It's your gun. Do what you want to do with it. But the only thing I will tell you is that when you get a really good precision-made barrel tooled, it will feel tight when you first install it in your gun. You'll be like, oh, that's really super tight. Well, that's because it's machined and it's specifically designed to be tight, not to be all loosey-goosey. But good news is you get out and you shoot the gun. And then you shoot it, and then you shoot it, and you shoot it, and you shoot it, and you shoot it some more. And guess what? It breaks in very, very nicely. The only problem I ever had with a conversion barrel Glock gun was when I was shooting the Eastern European, Russian, former Soviet Republic steel-cased ammo, because some of it was really light. I found it was really super light recoiling, and it was a pistol that I put the Aimpoint T1 Micro on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, if you shoot quality brass-cased American-made ammo, you should have no problems whatsoever. So, I would. So, to your answer, you really don't get that much more from a 40 than a 9. It costs you more. It offers more recoil. You don't get that much of a benefit. You get to hold a few less rounds in your gun. So, and a lot of guys that I know that are professional trainers are way. Dave Spalding is one of them. Jaeger's one of them. I don't think Hackathorn shoots 40s. He shoots either 9s or 45s. I don't want to speak for him, but most professional firearms trainers are really over the 40. They're kind of done with it. They're not impressed with it anymore. Now, the cool news is, as far as like ammunition goes, if there's ever an issue where you can't find one flavor and you can find another flavor, if you have conversion barrels, like I didn't throw away my 40 magazines or the 40 barrels. I've got them all. So if for some reason I couldn't find the 9, but I could find 40, I just swap the barrels out, swap the mags, and I can still shoot the guns, drive on. So that be that. And check out KKM Precision. If you do, tell them that we sent you. They're good guys. They've always done us right, and I've been working with them for probably at least 15 years, Jared. I would say, well, it's 2015 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I probably got my first barrel from them in like 98 or 99. Where does the time go? You're freaking me out, man.
And I've ran this Glock through, I think, at least 2 tactical response classes now.
That's right. You've been through 2 fighting pistol classes.
Plus all the other stuff.
Plus all the other stuff we did. Did it work?
Yeah, it actually, you know what? I both of the tactical response classes, I used the Glock with the KKM Precision barrel, and it was in a Serpa holster. And I got mud in it.
Did
it
you
worked
die?
Fine. No, yeah.
You need to look that up. Did you die?
Oh, yeah.
For those of you that don't know, that's a quote from the Hangover movie. All right, there's your marching orders, brother. Now that you're done running around the room screaming that you heard yourself on the radio, type an email to Alex at Student of the Gun and give her all your information, and you'll get your SWAT fuel quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. The next topic we're going to talk about is it's one that I haven't spoken about in a while. But this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Century Arms. Check those guys out. And seriously, you do want to, because if you haven't been to the Century Arms website lately, you need to go there because they redesigned it. Thank you. Because it was it looked like it had been designed 10 years ago and not altered since then. And I think that was the case. So they spent some money. They got a web designer to upgrade their website. So Go Team moment. Good job there. And, of course, Century Arms is they're the sponsor of not only the radio show but of the mobile app. And if you don't have the mobile app on your phone, you are wrong. But you can fix yourself for free thanks to our friends at Century. And don't forget about Brownells, brownells.com. If you own a gun, Brownells has something in their catalog for you. Sign up for their newsletter, and every time they have specials and stuff on sale, you're going to get a ping in your email that says, hey, we got X on sale. And if you're looking for ammo, I got one from them this week, and it said, in stock now, limited supply, Arms Corps 22 LR ammunition. And that's one of those deals where if you wait...
You probably clicked on it, it was gone.
A week, and it's gone. If you wait 2 days, it's gone. So you want to know.
Speaking of being gone, you guys only have like 10 days left to get in on the Edge program if you want to win the SDI pistol, the custom Brownells pistol. You sign up for the Edge program, and you're automatically entered to get that or to be chosen as a winner for the giveaway. So do that.
All right. I think this particular story rates a slave state opening. Do you not think that as well?
I do think that.
I like to teach you all the rules. I get to see them set in stone. I like it when you chain me to the bed, but then you see me never.
All right, you guys know how I feel about flying, and you know how I feel about the Transportation Security Administration, or the small t SA. And the SA is apparently up to their old tricks. We've previously reported about the SA molesting little children and making them cry. We've reported about the SA, how they would take women who they thought were attractive and run them through the full body scanners multiple times so that their buddies in the back room could get a gander. We've talked about them stealing from passengers' bags. We've talked about them destroying people's property, confiscating people's lawfully owned property without a warrant and without cause, which I think violates the Constitution. But what the heck? It's all for your security and for your safety. Don't you feel safer? Well, of course you do.
1, don't you feel dumb?
Yeah, 1, don't you feel dumb? 2, look at you. This story comes to us from rightwingnews.com, and it's also sourced from the Daily Mail. And it's by the time you hear this, I would assume that you probably had referenced it on Facebook or whatever multiple times up till now. And folks, if we don't get it yet, and this is the thing that frustrates me, Jared, do you want me to tell you what it is that frustrates the crap out of me? You do? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's the fact that here we are in 2015, and we have mountains of evidence that the TSA is not only incompetent, but corrupt also at the same time. So, and you're like, what? A federal agency that is both incompetent and corrupt simultaneously and investigates themselves when they get caught doing something? What? That's crazy. TSA employees manipulated body scanner so male employee could grope men's genitals at the Denver airport. How's that make you feel? How's that make you feel? Well, let's go ahead and according to the story here, it says few trust the TSA. While the need for security is undeniable, few trust the government agency that operates with too little oversight, amen, and whose personnel hold entirely too much power in their hands, amen times 2. Now, according to the Daily Mail, 2 TSA employees' actions have cast yet another pall upon the agency. And that'd be, for those of you that went to public school, that's P-A-L-L, not U-L. 2 TSA employees have been fired after they used the airport's body scanner inappropriately to allow a male worker to fondle male passengers' genitals. Doesn't that make you feel special? Make you feel. The pair allegedly worked as a team to manipulate the results of a full body scanner at the security checkpoint at Denver's International Airport last year, according to CBS 4. I guess that'd be local CBS in Denver. And it was picked up by the Daily Mail. Now, before I go on, I'm going to ask you a question. As you're listening to my voice right now, who else has reported this story to you? Was this national news?
It was a local news.
Was it national news where you live? You live in Maine, you live in Montana, you live in Florida, you live in Texas, wherever you live. Was this on your local news channel? Was this in the news feed, whatever news feed you read? Yes or no? And if it was not, ask yourself why. Isn't this a federal government bureaucracy that is violating the Constitution, continuously violating the Bill of Rights? It's like they pretend it doesn't even exist. Well, we know it exists, but we just don't care. Because safety and security, we can do what we want. And you peasants just need to shut up or we're going to make you miss your flight. So according to Denver Police Department, according to a Denver police report, and 3, 2, 1.
See, that's what happens when we're live.
Yeah, sometimes we're live.
So
okay.
I have the audio story here. Do you want me to play it?
Yeah, go ahead and play it. Let someone else say it in their words, and then I'll talk about it.
Developing tonight at 10, TSA screeners at Denver International Airport accused of using their positions to intentionally fondle and grope male passengers as they pass through security. Investigator Brian Moss uncovered the plot and is breaking that story tonight live from DIA. It's a story you'll see only on CBS 4 tonight.
Karen, 2 TSA screeners here at DIA have been fired. One of them admitting that they were manipulating the security checkpoint systems here at the airport to allow a male TSA screener to grope and fondle male passengers departing from DIA. Here's how they did it.
A TSA worker blew the whistle on the checkpoint fondling last November, saying that a male colleague told her he gropes male passengers coming through screening. According to this Denver police report obtained by CBS 4, the male worker told his colleague when a male he finds attractive comes to be screened by the scanning machine, he will alert another TSA screener to indicate to the scanning computer that the party being screened is a female. When the screener does this, the scanning machine will indicate an anomaly in the genital area, which then allowed the male TSA agent to do a pat-down search on the male passengers. 3 months after that tip, a TSA supervisor watched the security area to see if it was true. It's unclear why it took the TSA 3 months to look into the information. The investigator said he watched as a male passenger entered the scanner and saw the male TSA agent appear to give a signal to another screener. Then, says the investigator, he saw the female accomplice press a button indicating the passenger was a female. The scanner alerted to an anomaly, and the investigator then watched the male TSA agent conduct a pat-down of the passenger's front groin and buttocks area with the palm of his hands, contrary to TSA policy.
TSA investigators then interviewed the female TSA employee, who confessed to the fondling conspiracy, saying that she had done it at least 10 times.
Both TSA agents have been fired. Security cameras captured the March incident, but that video has not been released, and the TSA says it has not been able to identify the male passenger who was flying on Southwest Airlines. Denver police investigated this as a possible sex assault. The prosecutors say with no victim, there's no criminal case.
All right. Wow.
How could you know what flight they're flying on but not know who they were?
Wow.
Is that possible?
Yeah, maybe. But here's the deal. Let me tell you something a little bit about being a police officer acting under color of law. There's this little thing in every state, whether it's Ohio or Michigan or wherever you live, they have a stipulation that says if a person who is acting under color of law violates the law, that in itself is a crime. So essentially, using your authority, using the authority that you've been granted by the city, the county, the state to manipulate or take advantage of other people. Right? It's called acting under color of law. And what these turds, these pieces of human filth who completely and totally abused their positions, they were fired. Okay. Oh, well, they're like, we can't find a victim, or there's no charges. Really? And it took 3 months. So essentially, these scumbags are molesting passengers for 3 months at least. That was 3 months. Jared, did you notice it said it was 3 months from the time that they got the anonymous tip from another employee? So how long had it been going on before that? And she admitted 10 times, which means she probably thought that they could figure out via the cameras and the security monitors that they could probably pin 10 of those on them. So it's kind of like when when you say, how many beers have you had? And you take whatever someone tells you and you double it or you triple it, and that's probably the truth. Dude, are you kidding me? Now, here's what I'm going to ask you. Does this outrage you? Well, yes, it does outrage me, Paul. I am outraged. How outraged are you? Are you outraged enough to contact your senators? Are you outraged enough to contact your state representatives and demand that they investigate the TSA as a whole, as a complete unit? Jared, isn't Denver the airport where they had like 34 separate instances of theft? And they were doing, what were they also doing? There's been so many TSA incidents that I cannot keep track of them all in my mind. Where they were like stealing parking passes. They were going in. They had security footage where they were going into people's bags and removing iPads and phones and so forth. And never mind the fact that they just, they cut your locks off and throw them in the trash. Then they don't secure your bag and it comes out the other end open or unsecured, or they put a little card in it that says, "Oh, dear peasant, we cut your lock off and threw it away, and we rifled through your stuff, and we stole some of it, and suck it."
Have you ever heard of Tactizzy? On YouTube.
Tactizzy?
Tactizzy.
Like a
TISSY?
I can't. It's a female person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm aware of Tactizzy.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
But not intimately aware.
Yeah, the first time I heard of her was when she did a video about TSA and about how her transporting her guns from on the plane for a shooting match or something. Oh,
and then they flag you, as a gun person.
I think they broke her freaking Pelican case. Is that possible? Well, I think that's what happened because she was talking about a broken Pelican case.
A broken case, yeah. I mean, they take them in the back there and then they, apply tools to them. I don't fly anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it. But until we figure out a way to fix our nation and to resecure a little bit of our liberty, I'm not getting on a plane and I'm not subjecting myself to that. And I would suggest that you don't either. Well, it's inconvenient. Yes, it is inconvenient. Sometimes being a citizen is inconvenient. Sometimes defending liberty is inconvenient. And it might require effort. And you might have to put yourself out a little bit. And I know that's not what we're about in the United States anymore. But we thought you should know about that. We want you to share it with your friends. We want you to tell every single person you know, including the puke-faced liberal scumbags that you work with at your shop and at your office, who just think that it's wonderful and that how the people in the blue shirts just keep us so safe. Oh, they do. All right, moving on.
I don't know anybody that thinks that.
Yeah. And I here's what I hear. I hear people like, well, I know that they've made some mistakes. No, they violated the law. Breaking the law and committing theft offenses and destroying people's property and molesting people, that's not a mistake. That's deliberate behavior. But what do I know? All right, you want to talk about guns?
Yeah.
Jared, you want to talk about guns?
Yeah, let's talk about guns.
Guns and holsters and stuff like that. All right, well, did you do this on purpose?
I did. I did do
that. The
sponsor
of this next segment is Velocity Triggers, designed for precision. If you've got a black rifle, they've got a trigger for you. So check them out at velocitytriggers.com. And Crossbreed Holsters. If you need to carry a gun, if you need to tote a blaster,
Hold on.
What?
You do need to tote a blaster.
Well, I mean, obviously you need to tote a blaster. But depending on how you need to tote it, how do you want to tote your blaster? I don't care. But any way you want to tote your blaster, Crossbreed Holsters has a way for you to do that thing.
We actually just got a message on the Student Gun Facebook, I believe it was Facebook, they said that they had got, or no, it was the comments on your article. They said that the person had got an appendix carry from crossbreed, and it was the most comfortable
really?
they've ever carried in their life.
Oh.
I've actually
Well,
never
rock on.
carried appendix from crossbreed. I've never carried appendix at all.
Well, there's appendix carry and there's spleen carry
Yeah.
because they're on the other side.
Appendix is right.
Depends.
Appendix is right.
Appendix is on your lower right. Spleen is on your lower
Dependix.
left. Yeah, your dependix. All right, so crossbreedholsters.com is where you want to go to check out pretty much any way you want to carry a gun. They can help you out. And Jared, he dropped this in here, and essentially what we did last week, I wrote an article called 4 Steps to Carrying a Full-Size Pistol Every Day. And a lot of people shared, a lot of people read it, and Jared felt it was important enough that it had enough traction that we should discuss it on the radio. And the reason we're doing this is because I hear quite often, whether you're at, the gun counter, the counter at your local gun shop or your Academy Outdoors or at I don't go to gun shows anymore because they insult my intelligence. They insult my intelligence by asking me for $7 or $8 to walk in the door. And I don't need to pay you $8 to walk into an arena and look at overpriced stuff. Sorry. 20 years ago, I was a gun show junkie. I was a gun show junkie because gun shows are where you went to find bargains and hard-to-find things. If you were looking for a part or a component or a magazine or this or that for whatever you had, chances were really good that if you went to a big gun show, you could find it. Or if you were looking for bargains, if you're looking for good deals. The good deals are gone.
Well, now you have to take a bottle of Astroglide or Frog Lube. You can take Frog Lube.
Yeah, a bottle of Frog Lube with you when you make a purchase at a gun show.
If you're nice, they might even apply it for you.
It's like the gun show loophole. I don't know what loophole they're talking about. Gun shows disgust me anymore. But I digress. Wherever you happen to be standing around, whether it's a gun show or a gun shop or whatever, you hear this. Well, I carry X because it's not possible to carry a full-size gun. Or it's not practical to attempt to carry a full-size gun. So what I did essentially, and for those of you who read the article, this is just a refresher for you, is, I pointed out reasons that you would want to carry a full-size gun. Because if you're really serious about the whole I want to defend my life, you need to be serious about defending your life against the unanticipated as well as the anticipated. Most people that start carrying a gun, they do it and then they have what I'll call their gunfight or their anticipated gunfight. And this is totally natural. People think, well, if I'm ever in a gunfight, and they might not even say it out loud, but this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be walking to my car, across the Walmart parking lot, and a dude's going to come out and say, hey, blah, blah, give me your money. Well, we had 2 instances that showed us, we talked about this last week, that there could be at any point in time, you have not one, but multiple attackers. And not even 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. This is a bad situation that we live at in the United States of America. And if I've got 2 or 3 people that have decided they're going to stomp me into the ground, I probably want a little bit more than 6 shots of 380 ACP. Not to bash the 380 ACP, but I'm going to want a little more than that. And it's not just so much about the volume or the number of rounds. What I want you to do, if you don't believe me, if you're a disbeliever, put your hand over your heart right now. Put your hand over your heart. All right, you see the area that your hand is covering? That is the area that if you really want someone to stop trying to stomp your brains into the asphalt, that's where you need to put bullets, okay? And depending on who you are, you look down at your hand, you say, well, that area is about, let's say, 4 or 5 inches, a 4 or 5 inch circle. Okay. What I want you guys to do is I want you to take a pie plate or whatever, any kind of a target, piece of paper, doesn't matter, and make a 4-inch circle and tack it up. Tack that up on your shooting board or whatever you're going to shoot at. And whip out your pocket 380 or whatever and start out at 3 yards. and see how many rounds you can put on demand into that 4-inch circle at 3 yards. Now, move it to 5 yards. Okay. All right, I'm good to go, Paul. Okay. Now, move it back to 3 yards and just use one hand. Okay. Now, turn off the lights and do it with just ambient light. Now do that same thing lying on your back. Oh, come on, stop. Yeah, exactly. It's not so easy, is it? The smaller the gun, it's just basic physics. The smaller the gun, generally the harder it is for you to get consistent, accurate hits on target. Because guns are machines, and they go boom and snap, and they move around in your hand, and it's hard to... let's face it. Little guns are convenient. They're great to have. They're there. And it's better than nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's better to have a gun than no gun. But if you're serious about this whole armed citizen thing, you need to have something that you know, not just when it's nice and sunny and I'm calm and what have you, that you know that when I'm laying on my back in a parking lot and 3 people are about to stomp my brains into the ground, that I can make this thing work and work very, very well.
There's 2 things that I want to say. And while we're on the subject of doing all that stuff for the training, I want to mention the cell phone challenge one more time. If you guys haven't done that yet, get on board with it. I think Jeremy's actually still doing that as a competition. It was a month-long competition. But even if he's not, I want you to get in on the cell phone challenge, because if you can't put your cell phone in a plastic baggie and staple it to your target and shoot your target without hitting your phone, then you really need to get some training. And practice and training are different. Obviously, you guys know that. If you don't, then go back and listen to some previous episodes of Student of the Gun Radio. Dad talks about it quite a bit. And so the cell phone challenge, get in on that and post your videos. If you don't shoot your phone, when we hope you don't, post the video to.
If you shoot your phone, don't post the video.
Yeah, and if you do shoot your phone and you could still post the video, do it.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
But doesn't the video die if you put a bullet through the phone?
Not if it doesn't hit the hard drive or the storage unit, SD card. If it doesn't explode the SD card, then you'll still have the video.
They're going to be digging SD cards out of shot-up phones?
That would be awesome.
How many... Do we have, junk phones?
Yeah. No. I did. I gave the white one to Dixon.
A junk phone?
Yeah.
That doesn't work?
Oh, I mean, it worked, but...
No, I mean one that doesn't work, old, back from 5 years ago that are in a drawer or something.
Probably.
I just had an idea.
Okay. Go on. Well, hold your idea, because I don't want to spoil it.
That's right. We don't want to tell people.
Yeah.
Because they're listening.
Yeah, I know.
They're out there listening.
And the second thing I want to bring up is I got that new... Dina from Century Arms sent me the new TP9 SA, and it's in flat dark earth.
SA?
Or desert tan. What is it?
It's tan. It's a tannish color.
Yeah, but which one is it? Does it have a name? It doesn't matter. It doesn't
maybe
matter.
Maybe it's khaki.
It could be khaki. It's more formal. It's a formal pistol.
I think they call it desert tan.
Okay.
It's that color.
I wasn't sure.
Depending on what the light is, it looks either desert tan or khaki or coyote or whatever.
Well, anyway.
It's brown.
So I got, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm sure that some of you guys have done this before. I got a new gun. And I was really excited because I got a holster from Crossbreed with it to go with it as well. So I put the holster on and I took my Glock off and I was loading up the TP9 to carry it. And then I realized, I was like, man, I haven't shot this gun yet. I was like, I don't know if I trust it. I don't know if I trust it to save my life. And
you trust the model of gun.
I trust the model, but I don't know if that particular one is in working order.
Well,
I'm not saying
you know how to test.
Yeah, you function check. And then,
function check it, yeah.
But I've never actually shot a live round out of it, so I don't really want to carry it until I do that.
And Jared's absolutely right. And I don't care who you bought the gun from. I don't care if you bought it from Wilson Combat or Glock or High Point or anywhere in between. If it is a new gun, before you put it on your body and decide that you're going to carry it around to save your own life, you should go out and actually test fire it.
I could just see it happen.
Test fire it with the ammo that you are going to use.
Yeah.
Like the actual killer ammo. If you're putting special killer ammo in it, use that. Don't test it out with ball and then load it up with killer ammo and say, oh, it's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing.
A little bit different.
It's a little bit different. Not always, but a little bit. I've actually been surprised by guns that I thought were going to digest a certain ammo, and they didn't. I was like, whoa, wow, that's weird. But I actually had somebody on there said, like, oh, the TP9 is not tested and you shouldn't rely on it. Well, here's the deal. I've got one on my hip right now, and the one that I've got on my hip right now has almost 1,000 rounds through it of pretty much everything. The steel-cased Russian stuff, the Winchester and Remington and UMC and Federal, that kind of stuff. Oh, the aluminum Federal, basically the CCI Blazer ammo. It's had Black Hills jacketed hollow point through it. It's had other different types of controlled expansion rounds. And the only problem I ever had with this gun was when I dumped the mags into the sand, and that real super fine powdery sand that's on our ranges got into the mags, and it made them kind of gritty and sticky. But that's not, you can't really fault the gun for that. You know who I fault for that, Jared? The American gun buyer.
Oh.
Because they're the spazoids that demand that they can't get away with not looking at how many rounds are in their magazine. So manufacturers put those stupid holes in pistol magazines so that you can see.
This topic's going to be a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
We're going to do a video on it, actually.
Yeah, it's like, ugh. But anyway, this gun, and not just this gun that's on my hip, there's probably, a half a dozen TP9 SAs up at Tactical Response in December, and we shot the ever-living crap out of those guns. We literally threw them in the mud. We didn't just set them down in the mud. We're standing there like, oh, let it go, whew, and it goes into the mud. And
it became an actual platform.
And we had to, I'm sorry, we actually had to, at one point in time, take them apart, rinse the mud out with water, and then put lubrication on them. And after we did that, they're back up and running. What? Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't, and I'm not a freaking idiot. I wouldn't carry a gun that I didn't have confidence in. I've been playing this game a long, long time. And I'm not going to put something on my body that I don't think will work. But I also have another one just in case. So there's that.
That's what I was thinking, that I was loading that gun up, and I was so excited to put it on and carry it. And then I thought about that, and I was like, I'll be carrying this, and something will happen. I'll have to skin it out, and it'll go click instead of bang. And I was like, well, but I have one in my pocket, so it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, but I have another one. So
it would be that mental jumping jack moment, like, oh, crap, it went click.
Mm. Well, and it's a hefty gun. You could beat someone seriously with it.
Yeah.
You know what? We might have to do that. I might have to use it as a blunt instrument just because I can.
Yeah.
We're way long.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
That's what, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we hope that we helped you get through Monday. All right, we gave you a few extra minutes. Put it on my tab.
No. We put it on their tab.
All right, I'll put it on your tab, freak. All right, until next time, until tomorrow, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.